Welcome to week 5 in the course, Annotated Bibliography. A bibliography is a list of sources, so your references page, essentially. Annotated means your own notes about each source. So this week, it's a simple assignment in one respect. You're finding 3 sources, I provided one of the 3, and then you're dropping your own notes in a paragraph underneath each of those sources. Now this is in support of your research paper, a persuasive argument. It'll be the culminating and final assignment in this course. One of my professors used to say, good writing requires sticking your neck out and taking a risk. And when you take that kind of risk, you need to really be supported by credible sources. If you're going to state a viewpoint that not everyone's going to agree with, if you're going to make an argument or try to persuade someone to think or act the way you do, then you need to have good supporting ropes. You need to be anchored, just like this climber, by the quality of your sources. Okay, now our pattern will continue. So if this is a new type of assignment, don't worry. We'll have a week to draft it and then another week to refine it. And you can ask as many questions and get as much help as you need. You want to do a good job because this is really the beginning of your planning for the research project. In fact, much of what you write this week will be usable in your research project, so you won't be starting from scratch. Now, here are the steps in the annotated bibliography assignment. You could refer back to this if you wish. Step 1 is going to be picking a topic for you to write your research paper on, a persuasive argument about. And the course notes help you with that. Then after you have a topic idea in mind, you could refine and revise that, but after you have an idea, a general idea, you want to begin researching databases from the Library Resource Center to find at least 3 sources. Now again, I provided one. Here it is. Crisis Intervention Teams in Chicago, Successes on the Ground. This is a peer-reviewed journal article, so it's written by professionals in the field of criminal justice for professionals in the field. And this is an article that you'll refer to in other classes from this cohort. Notice they have an abstract at the beginning, just like you do in your papers, and an excellent and clear conclusion. So reading the abstract and the conclusion is a great way to understand the basic parameters of the argument before diving in and reading the whole thing. So, when you begin to find the other 2 sources related to what you would like to write about in your research paper, something that you'll find is helpful is, if you look at, this is our module for this week, okay? You've got the introduction, the mini lecture, you've got your course notes, the sample article that you can use, one of the 3 sources. But then down here you'll see library tutorial for research and the annotated bibliography. There's a link to that in the course notes as well. And here it is. It begins with defining your topic, okay? And then how do you find and evaluate good quality, credible sources? Where are you going to look for those good quality, credible sources? All of these are excellent sources, okay? You can click on them and type in your credentials, your My Campus login credentials, and Criminal Justice Periodicals Index is one, but these others will yield relevant articles often for your topics as well. You can skip MLA. We're using APA format. There's a whole section on annotated bibliography writing, which is helpful, and then a chunk on getting help. So this should be a very helpful, videos included, links included, resources included, resource for you. And then you want to download the template for annotated bibliography formatting, and again, that's right in the supplemental section of the modules for this week. There it is, the annotated bibliography template. I even have a sample paper. It's a little longer than what you have to write, but it's a good sample paper. Okay, and then you can copy paste API citations to your references page. Now check this out, and it's a way to bypass NoodleBib. NoodleBib is a fine resource, and if you're comfortable with it, by all means use it. Okay, but if I'm finding sources, say for example, okay, and I click on the Criminal Justice Periodicals Index and I type in crisis intervention teams related to the argument. I mean, I could also type in something like mental health and police response, okay? I'm just going to type in crisis intervention teams to get started here. All right, and police intervention in mental health crisis, something that seems relevant comes up. Again, this is a ProQuest dissertation publishing, so this is a credible source written by a PhD student. Okay, so if I click, most of these databases will have some version of cite available. Sometimes it's over here in the margin, sometimes it's right here at the top. And if I click cite, up will pop. Let me. I'll tell you what. I have to click on the article, and if I click cite, up will pop this list, and I'm going to choose APA, and there's my citation. So I can copy it, and using the right formatting, paste it directly into my annotated bibliography. Of course, I'd scroll down to the last page, but you get the idea. And in doing so, maybe I'll do that for you once. Okay, so here, I will right-click, and I'm gonna choose which one looks the best to me. There it is. Boom. Okay. Now I have a perfectly cited source. Okay. So after you've picked a topic, found 2 additional sources, evaluated them to make sure they're credible using the guidelines provided in the class, downloaded the template and posted or copy-pasted your citations, then you write 1 summary paragraph for each of your 3 sources. You'll use some paraphrase, some summary, and some quoting. And use only the third-person point of view. Here, eventually, at this point, you need to cut out the I and the me and the my. That's first person. Cut out the you and the your. That's the second person. Third-person point of view only. How do you do that? Well, there's 2 things you can look at to make sure you get that right. Okay. First thing, the sample paper. The student does a good job. Second thing, if you look at the modules, I have this link to good sentence builders. I've got that open in another tab. And it's just a several-page list of templates for how to write with academic speak, essentially formal academic writing. Okay? And capturing authorial actions on the second page is the most helpful. X is for the author's name, so Foster acknowledges that blank. Foster observes, questions, concedes, demonstrates, deplores. Okay? All of these options for noting what an author's viewpoint is. Remember, you're keeping your opinion out of the annotated bibliography, although it will be in the research paper. The annotated bibliography is just your opportunity to summarize, paraphrase, and quote, because you're offering a 1 summary paragraph for each source. Okay? Only in third-person point of view. That's why we keep the I out of it. I think, my opinion, not necessary in this particular assignment, only focused on what the authors have to say. And then you can add an abstract and a conclusion according to the assignment description. And these, again, are essentially summary paragraphs. Okay? The notes offer you more detail. The library tutorials are excellent and well done, and they've worked very hard in the library. If you have any questions or concerns whatsoever, please communicate those to me, and I will be happy to help. Remember, the whole point of the annotated bibliography is to find credible sources and summarize what those sources say, because that is the foundation of excellent research writing. And it sort of makes sense if you think of the progress of our course. We began with a narrative, entirely your point of view. We continued to a reflection, a blend between your perspective and someone else's. And this section of the course, we are only interested on what you understand other people to be saying. And in the final movement of the course, the research paper, you'll add your own perspective back in, and I'll talk more about that later. Thank you very much for your time. Let me know how I can help.